Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Jump Cut.
Guten Tag.
This is a show where we talk about mostly geek stuff, movies, video games, and everything else. I'm your host, Nigel Fullerton. Sit with me is my esteemed colleague,
Austin Andrews. How are you? This is Steve May. I keep correcting myself every show because for some reason I can't do that. That is some hissing.
Yeah.
That's some hissing. All right. News and stuff.
Well, basically today we're going to talk about Titans, Doom Patrol, and Umbrella Academy. But first, we will do our geek news.
Geek news.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We took off for a week, but we're back, and a lot of things have happened since then.
Sorry, I had appendicitis.
Oh, okay.
No, we all just needed the week to take care of a few things, and we're all back and healthy. And
oh yeah,
my appendix is still in one piece.
That's awesome.
So
I no longer have the flu, so I'm good too.
I no longer have to wear the clothes from when I was on Tails a few episodes ago.
Okay,
so that's pretty good.
All right,
but yeah, geek news. Today was a pretty big deal.
Today was
Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
Nintendo announced a surprise Direct, and that's a lovely video. Nintendo announced a surprise Direct yesterday for today, and it was talking about Pokemon exclusively. Now, I didn't watch it because I heard about it this morning, the results, and I was still in school. So I was reading on it, and it's Pokemon Sword and Shield. So they ran out of colors, so no Pokemon Teal and Chartreuse. Okay. That's not going to be a thing, unfortunately.
All right.
No Pokemon Magenta. But
no Pokemon Coral?
No Pokemon CMYK and RGB.
Okay. All right, no problem.
No, so that's so the new Pokemon game is expected to be a Switch exclusive. Ooh. So they're bringing it off the Nintendo 3DS, and it's going to be a full-fledged main series Pokemon, unlike that Let's Go.
But I have a question though. Aren't all Pokemon games exclusive to Nintendo?
No, exclusive to the Switch.
Okay.
Instead of being on the 3DS.
Got you. So it's only going to be on the Switch. All right.
Yes, on this one, on my PlayStation 4 right here.
Got you.
And my trusty copy of Pokemans. When they released Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee,
right,
that game was more similar to how would I say it? It was similar to like Pokemon Go, right? So when you have Pokemon Go, it's more along the lines of you see your Pokemon, you throw a Pokemon, catch it. Okay. Where this, you have these little things, and you're going and you have Pokemon. They're like moving. Oh, this is not structurally sound. Okay. So you have Pokemon, and you're like moving around, and you can only play with one controller.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you move around with the joystick, and then you click it to perform actions, or you press the A button. There's just two buttons for the whole game. So you're going to catch a Pokemon, you don't do like the actual battle. Like the battle phase exists, but to catch the wild Pokemon, you got to throw the Pokeball. So
basically, what you're complaining about is that they didn't make a video game for adults.
It's not, I don't care if it's for adults or not. It just wasn't fun because the gyroscope mechanics weren't structurally sound enough. I don't know. 0 out of 7 from me.
Complain about gyroscopes. Let me tell you about Nintendo in 1985. Oh my God.
Nintendo had a fetish for the color red too.
No, they had a robot that came with the Nintendo, and it was the worst.
Rob?
Rob the robot. Yeah, it didn't move at all. Like it was the worst.
I mean, it's a good Smash main if you want to go that way.
True.
But yeah, so what else do we have on the Geek News list?
We have Detective Pikachu actually.
Oh.
Keeping it Pokemon.
I really thought I wanted Danny DeVito to play Pikachu.
Did you?
I wanted.
Why?
Throw me in the trash. I'm Pikachu.
No. So I watched the new trailer for Detective Pikachu. I wasn't a fan at first. I knew that Ryan Reynolds was going to be Pikachu. I was cool with that, but I wasn't sold. Because I'm not a Pokemon guy. Like I didn't grow up watching Pokemon. So as I watched this second trailer, I want to watch this film. I saw more to it. I saw a different kind of Pokemon that I wouldn't see before. The Mewtwo's and all this other stuff. Also, it looks like there's more action to it than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Plus my homie Justice. Justice is the star of. I know everybody, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know he was in there at first.
No, every time I'm chatting with Nigel, I'm like, oh, did you see a show? Yeah, I know this person.
I know this guy.
Hey, me and this person, we actually worked on a 7-Eleven ad together.
Nah, we did the Get Down together.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, that's actually Mike brought up a point I was about to say, because Pikachu uses profanity in the movie.
Right.
And that gets me thinking, like, Nintendo are loosening their IP. Because Pokemon is a very strong IP, and Pikachu is like their Mario of Pokemon.
Yeah, but if you remember the Mario movie, there was cursing. That was a dark movie.
Yeah, but it's also a bad movie.
It was bad, but I watched the whole documentary on that too.
Was it officially licensed by Nintendo though?
It was. It was.
Wow.
Nintendo wanted a darker Mario movie.
Okay.
And that's what they got.
Thank you, Troy, Vinny, Matt, and Mike for tuning in.
Nice.
Yeah, no. When I was looking at it, first of all, Ryan Reynolds, he's one of the in-demand actors now due to Deadpool.
He is due to Deadpool.
He was one of the least demanded actors after Green Lantern, so he kind of did a little shift there.
Well, he was doing romantic comedies.
He was doing rom-coms, but you know.
Yeah, my mother loves The Proposal.
That's something. I mean, True Romance is a good rom-com.
Yeah, sure. If you've never seen it before.
Mark likes that. No, when I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's happening with the movie, and I think I think it has potential.
I definitely do.
I think Nintendo are very, very strict with who uses their IP.
Right.
And for someone like Ryan Reynolds to play Pikachu and be profane, means something.
As a guy that had to take his sisters to see the Pokemon movie back in 2000, I appreciate this movie.
I'm excited. You got an anticipation marker for me. We're just tossing out new and new rating systems every time.
Yeah.
You get 3 Spider-Man PS4s out of 7. Let's do it.
Okay. Next up, we're talking about the cancellation of Punisher and Jessica Jones.
Disney needs to get punished.
Okay. Why do you believe that?
Their marketing is that I can tell what they want to do is they want to cancel all the shows and say, surprise, they're not canceled, and they're going to bring it up on Disney Plus. And Disney Plus, I mean, Disney is a very big IP holder right now. They have a lot of massive brands and names that exist. And when I'm looking through everything Disney has, I mean, I remember when Disney acquired Marvel, like that was a really huge deal.
Yeah.
And then I remember when Disney's just acquired Star Wars and like Lucasfilms, and they have a lot of major IPs.
They're smart.
They have potential to do great things with Disney Plus. However, the fact that shows like The Punisher and Jessica Jones were made under the supervision of Netflix, and now they're going to Disney, I don't know how I feel about that. Especially since they're so graphic, you know?
Yes, they are super graphic, especially The Punisher is graphic. I think that we don't know what this Disney streaming service is going to be, number one. You know, it's hard to put kid-friendly stuff. It's hard to put a cartoon mouse next to the Punisher. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to do that. I think what they can do, if they're going to do it, they do own a stock in Hulu, and now their share is bigger because the way Hulu works is it's a mixture of all the TV networks that own a percentage.
That's why you have to pay like extra for the commercial-free membership.
Exactly.
Because they need to be able to pay the networks for like using the royalties.
Right. So, you know, with ABC being owned by Disney and Fox being owned by Disney, they have a bigger share. So I think that all of that stuff that's going to be graphic is going to be on Hulu.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that what they are probably going to do is do a Netflix thing where they're going to do like a Disney Plus for kids.
Okay.
Disney Plus mature. And then they're going to put like the Disney hentai in like some other section of the app.
I don't think that's going to be on the streaming.
All the Disney Rule 34s.
I don't want to see anime bukkake on Disney.
Hey, you know it'll be the 8K anime bukkake though.
It'll be an 8K.
It'll be an 8K.
No problem. All right, next up, Activision and their layoffs.
This is kind of old news at this point, but I wanted to mention it because Activision Activision, like, they've been hitting home runs with things like Call of Duty. I mean, not everyone loves the games, but they've been selling really well. And Blizzard have been like doing great stuff too recently. And the fact that they had to lay off, I think it was a few 100,000 employees.
Yeah.
Just out of surprise. So I don't see the reason behind doing that other than making video games are expensive.
Right.
But aside from that, I don't know. Maybe there's something like going on in the company that we don't know. Maybe they took a bigger hit from things like Destiny or whatever. I know Anthem came out, and that's not doing too well. It actually sold worse than Mass Effect Andromeda on week 1.
It?
Yeah.
A lot of people, like I see on my Facebook feed, a lot of people are talking about Anthem.
Yeah.
And they say it's not that bad of a game. When you have to say it's not that bad, I mean it's a pretty terrible game.
It reminds me of Destiny with worse level design. Oh. I mean, I just tripped all over that sentence.
Well, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Disney Kids, Disney Junior, Disney Sports, aka Disney, ESPN, Disney, Hallmark, etc. Jesus. Thank you for that, Aaron.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I found that, I don't know. I have nothing to say on that. I'm not invested in these companies. I don't care really if what happens to Activision. Activision has been a pretty scummy company, but I don't know. Maybe there's something going on with Activision and Blizzard.
Well, you know what's weird?
There could be a merger.
It could be, but you know what's weird with like video game companies? They're growing smaller and smaller and smaller. It's like a team of 4 working on a big video game.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend that does audio for like video games and stuff like that, and he's like, "Yo,
living the dream."
He's like, I speak to people overseas. We never talk to each other. We speak to each other, and like it's non-stop work every day. Like we worked together on Independent Woman. He had to back out because he was doing the video game. Like it was so crazy. I forgot what game it was. It was something like it was some kind of indie game he was working on. But you know. But next up, I wanted to talk about Nintendo. Reggie, what's his last name? Reggie
Fils-Aimé.
Fils-Aimé. Yeah, he left Nintendo.
He's leaving, but I don't think he left yet.
Okay,
I think he's in the process.
He's retiring.
Put in his 2 weeks.
He's retiring.
But no.
The guy that's taking over, though, you know his name?
Yeah, no, we'll get to that in 1 second.
Okay.
I got so scared for a second because I read the headlines because I was actually in the city. I was going for a meeting, and I was getting like pop-ups on my watch saying, "Oh, Nintendo stock projections, blah blah blah," for like Reggie leaving.
Right.
I checked my Nintendo stocks, and they I think they went up something like 4 or 5%.
Wow.
And
just because Reggie was leaving?
Yeah. And then I read into the stories, and the reason why is because the guy replacing Reggie is Doug Bowser.
Now but Reggie started when like they were doing N64?
April 15th is his last day. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, thank you. What was Reggie's first project? Was it the N64 that he worked on, or he was there since like Super Nintendo?
I don't think he was there since Super Nintendo. And he was, if I recall, he's president of the North American division of Nintendo, right?
Got you, because it's Miyamoto?
Yeah, Miyamoto is CEO.
Okay, got you.
CEO/president.
See, I know a little bit. I try.
I don't know. I keep up to date very briefly. All I know is that I'm invested in them and give money. But when it comes to Reggie's retirement, he's been a face for Nintendo for so long.
Yes, he has.
You think Nintendo America, like I remember when the Switch was announced, and this is one of the few platforms where I was on board just for the hardware. And when he announced the Switch, there's something like magical about it. And I remember when he announced the Wii and everything. The Wii is more Miyamoto who did that, but it was.
But I think they both did at E3. They both did, yeah.
And then you had that really hilarious display of playing Wii music from Miyamoto. But I don't know. I'm not super tied to Reggie. I think he was really great. I'm excited to see who takes his place. Who knows? Might just be Reggie living out his persona. So.
Gotcha. So next up, I showed you the trailer to Love, Death, and Robots.
That was a weird experience because you sent me this when I was at school.
Yeah.
And I stepped out from class because we had a little break in between because it was a 3-hour class. So I'm outside and I'm just trying to cool off from the heated rooms and I'm watching this and I'm just like, what is this? What is this absolute color fest of just like epileptic seizure-inducing trailer cut goodness? Yeah. Because at first I was watching like, this is insane. This is going to be awesome.
Right. It looked like it was going to be crazy.
And then I'm still watching it, and I'm like, okay. So there's a bunch of stories that are disjointed. And I keep watching. I'm like, okay. the art styles are disjointed. And I keep watching. I'm like, all right, this has potential to be Double X. Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
And for the fans that don't know, Double X, it was 3 mini movies made by female directors, and they were horrors. But they were all terrible. I don't care if you're a female director, just don't do Double X, please. That was not good. So what'd you think of it?
I thought it was a mishmash of stuff that I'm not sure if I want to watch or not. It was too busy for my taste.
Yeah.
Like I have a low attention span nowadays. So like if it doesn't catch me, it doesn't catch me. So
I don't care if something's busy. It's just it wasn't busy for the right reasons.
True.
Yeah.
True. I still don't know what the show is about.
It was a movie, I think.
It's a movie?
Yes.
I still don't know what it's about.
It's an amalgamation of a bunch of mini movies.
I just saw pictures. I don't know how you got that from the trailer.
Well, I was like paying really close attention to it. The art style does remind me of, if you want to go back and watch that episode Tales from the Bottom of the Ocean we did today, it reminds me of the aesthetics, and specifically when we were talking about vaporwave and retro art and cyberpunk retro. So that's something that might be really interesting. Hey, Austin, we're shilling your show.
Yeah, we were just talking about your show.
We're shilling you.
Oh, boy. Who are you?
My name's Mike. Yeah, so that's what's new with that. That's what's going on with robot love, fear, and adrenaline.
Oh my God, it was crazy. But next up in geek news, Into the Spider-Verse just came out today.
Yes, they released a part of the Spider-Ham clip.
Yes, they have a lot of small, a lot of little vignettes that they did for Into the Spider-Verse, where like it's little cartoons for Spider-Ham, for Spider-Noir, and a couple other characters that are.
I gotta watch those.
Yeah, I definitely like as soon as we finish this, I'm probably gonna watch it later. I am. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's pretty exciting. I mean, as you can tell, we're mild fans of the series Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Tales from the Bottom of the Jump Cut. You got it. All right, what's up next? You got the list.
You want to just jump into the shows?
Is that all the news?
There's a lot. There's a couple things left, but
Let me see.
not too much.
Let's see
Hey, you want to see what my list says?
Let's see what your list says, because I'm a very terrible host. Denis Villeneuve is launching a new movie called Dune, which is a remake of a movie from I think 30 years ago.
Okay.
New Funko Pops were announced.
Yeah, there were tons of new Funko Pops announced 2 Fridays ago. Yeah, it was for the New York Toy Fair. They're it's gonna include Kiss Pops. There's also Dawson's Creek.
I need a Mendoza Pop.
There's Beverly Hills Cop. There's Sanford and Son Pops. They're like too many for me to really talk about right now. But I did pre-order a couple. I'm not gonna lie. My girlfriend's mad at me about it, but it's okay. It's all right.
All right, so that's it for geek news.
That is it for geek news.
Now we're going to get into the meat of the show, where every one of you tune out. First up, we have what are we doing? Titans.
Let's do Titans first.
I already reviewed Titans on episode 1. I gave my general thoughts on it. However, Nigel didn't see it, and I recommended that he saw it if he wants to watch Doom Patrol, which is up next. So stay tuned, and then Umbrella Academy.
So yeah, I watched Titans. I watched Doom Patrol before I watched Titans, which kind of was wrong, but I did it. Titans was horrible to me.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'll tell you why. Because I felt like it wasn't connected. It wasn't like every single episode, I'm like, I missed something. I'm like, how is it one episode you're starting these characters, then the next episode you're introducing new characters to me? For instance, Hawk and Dove, that whole thing, it never quite ended for me. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't a resolve. Then, when we get all the way to the end, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I felt like the last episode was like a fever dream. It was a Jacob's Ladder scenario that I was just like, okay, I got it.
That's my one complaint. The last episode should have been a second to last episode. Well, it was very entertaining. It was filler.
It was. It definitely was.
It made sense if you pay context, but I'm on the flip side of this. I love Titans.
I like what Titans was doing, but I'm comparing it to Doom Patrol.
Okay.
So it's not that I didn't like Titans.
But on its own.
On its own, it's decent. It's not the best.
It's entertaining, though.
It's entertaining.
The audio design is really good.
The audio design is really good.
Fight scenes are really good.
Yeah. But if I'm comparing it to Doom Patrol, I don't like Titans.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really on board. Like, I want to watch more of Doom Patrol every time I see Titans.
See,
you know,
when I was watching Titans, I was really. We're getting a photographer coming in. When I was watching Titans, I was really a fan of the style that Nigel's pulling the Nigel face.
Yeah. This is my face in every picture. I never look like I want to be anywhere.
He doesn't even want to be on his own show.
No.
I'm going to keep this short. Titans. I didn't watch it weekly because I didn't have time to allocate an hour to watch it weekly.
Right.
So I just marathoned it when I had a chance.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Same thing with me.
I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with it. I think that if you don't compare it to the cartoon, it's much more entertaining.
Yeah, I wasn't comparing it to the cartoon at all because I don't have a connection to the cartoon because I've never seen it. Like I've seen a couple episodes, but I never sat down and watched it. Same thing with Young Justice. I've seen a couple episodes of Young Justice, which I'm trying to get into again, but I'm not invested.
Yeah, I wasn't either. But then you have Doom Patrol, which the reason why I recommend you to watch Titans first is because the Doom Patrol are introduced in Titans.
Yes, and
they didn't introduce Cyborg, which pissed me off.
It was different actors also.
Was it?
Yes.
I remember, what's her name? Jane?
Crazy Jane wasn't in it.
No, not the actress, the 50s actress.
Far.
Yeah. Regardless,
I can't think of her first name, but that was a different actress also. That was a different actress. The Chief was a different actor. The only person that was the same was Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, and it was just his voice.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I remember because I didn't follow Doom Patrol before I saw Titans.
Yeah.
So I was introduced to the Doom Patrol through Titans. I'm like, whoa, what is this giant robot guy? I'm like, is Beast Boy under house arrest or something?
Right.
But then you learn more, and it's really interesting.
You learn more. Yeah. I think honestly, that episode is coming in Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for when that actually happens, when Beast Boy does become part of Doom Patrol. But I guess we just get into Doom Patrol now. Right?
Yeah, I just want to finish it off.
Sure.
Titans, I really enjoyed it. Watch it without any expectations at all, and you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I liked it, but it wasn't Doom Patrol.
Yeah. I am annoyed with how DC's releasing it weekly.
Yeah.
That's bothering me.
But it is what it is.
It is, but
listen, that's how TV's supposed to be.
It is how TV's supposed to be. But it's one thing
every week.
But it's one thing if everyone's watching at the same time on the air versus everyone streaming it the same day.
Exactly. I mean, if it came on a certain time of day and everybody could say, "Ooh, we could tweet this together."
Yeah.
No, they unloaded like a dirty undershirt.
Yeah. So they kind of
it off.
they drop it. They drop it at midnight on Mondays.
No, it's on Thursday nights.
Thursday nights.
Thursday.
As you can tell, I keep track.
It's okay.
Anyway, Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. First off, let me just say I am a big fan of Brendan Fraser.
I was watching it with I was watching the first episode with my friends. We were watching that. And we also watched What Happened on Monday, which was I
haven't watched it yet.
That was a movie. You don't need to watch it. When we saw the first episode of Doom Patrol, though, I was really interested in the sense where where did Brendan Fraser come from? You know,
right.
I don't remember him in anything since Scrubs, anything really huge.
I don't know, but like I said, I'm a fan of the funny Brendan Fraser more than the serious Brendan.
But he's both in Doom Patrol.
Yes.
But when I'm watching, when I was sitting and when I was watching with my friends, we were laughing because Brendan Fraser is playing a womanizer. And
Brendan Fraser's awesome
Brendan Fraser. It's just funny because Brendan Fraser at his age being a womanizer and you see that he's trying to pretend that he's not cheating on his wife with this 19-year-old girl from around the corner.
Oh man, but he plays this 1980s race car driver who he likes his women fast, likes his drinks even faster.
Likes his cars very broken and demented.
Oh man, his wife hates him, but on the low she's sleeping with his pit supervisor. Oh, I love it. I love it.
And she used that as fuel to get him to finish the race.
It's like watching Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. Listen, both episodes are intense. One thing that really surprised me is episode 2. And this show's going to be really hard because it's not. We can't really say a lot about episodes without spoiling.
We can't, yeah.
But episode 2 started with a narration by one of the characters in a very self-aware manner, and I really love that. And the character is coming in and out, like saying, "This is a story."
Right.
And then you're like, "Oh, why is he like this?" And then you're finding out in the show that's kind of who he is as a character.
Right. We can't really spoil it, but we can talk about the characters. Whereas Brendan Fraser's character is named Cliff Steele.
Yeah.
Who, I think we could talk origins also. Yes.
We can talk origins.
Okay. So Cliff Steele. So basically.
No, I'm saying we have a tight schedule, so I wanted to just.
Okay, no problem. Yeah.
So I just want to quickly say, because next week we will be reviewing probably more detail, and we have a little bit more stuff going on.
Okay, no problem.
But overall, really liked the first 2 episodes. Okay. Excited for what's to come. What do you say?
I thought Doom Patrol was cool. I can't say what I want to say it was cool as, but I thought it was cool. Like I like the dark humor. I love the fact when they talk, like when Crazy Jane talks, the words come out her mouth and like it almost like cut Cliff Steele in the face. Like I like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they aren't so self-aware and they break the fourth wall.
I don't know if you caught I think they're very self-aware.
I don't know if you caught when they broke the fourth wall.
They broke it a few times. Yeah. That's like what subscribers breaking the fourth wall. But how many brandless bottles of water out of 10 do you rate it?
Good 10 out of 10.
I give 2 bottles of water because that's all I have right now. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
But good show. Next up, we're going to
next one
Umbrella
is
Academy.
Umbrella Academy.
Okay, because we have a really packed schedule. And we're going to see because we have a lot of Blender topics.
Yes. Okay.
So Umbrella Academy. I forgot to send you the comics, and I am so sorry.
It is okay. It is okay.
Watching the show. The show blended books 1 and 2.
Yes.
So I remember I was texting Nigel when I was watching. I was ranting. Like,
He was so mad.
What's going on with this show? What are they doing?
But you know what was funny when we had the books on that the previous episode that we did. When you had the books on, I had heard that the apocalypse was coming. So when you said the 2 names, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. They're mixing these 2 together.
Yeah.
They have to.
Because I don't know if I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what Dallas is about, but I guess like we're gonna have to go mild spoilers for this.
Right.
But
mild spoiler warning.
Mild spoilers. Anyway, when I was watching it, first thing that I want to mention is that the way the book is the book starts as the family fighting crime together,
right.
And then what they do is actually they fight the Empire State Building. Not the Empire State, I'm sorry, the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
There's a guy
in the book,
Yeah, there's a guy in the Eiffel Tower, not Empire State. I'm sorry, I'm in New York.
Eiffel Tower. It's okay.
In the Eiffel Tower, and he turned into a giant mech.
Right.
And it just starts wreaking havoc on Paris.
Right. That's what I heard. And it wasn't in.
It was not in the show.
It wasn't in the show.
And the thing is, that was such an important thing to have to establish the characters and how powerful they are.
Right.
Because the show is very dialogue heavy. So it's a lot of the show isn't about superheroes being superheroes. It's a lot about superheroes who were superheroes and now they're trying to find themselves.
I felt like they all had daddy issues.
They did because
that's what I call superheroes with daddy issues.
Their dad was like a sadistic Charles Xavier.
Yes, I did get that feeling.
Yeah, instead of School of Mutants, it was School of Umbrella Academy students.
And there was only one umbrella the whole time, which pissed me off.
I mean, a lot of tattoos. They all had tattoos.
They had tattoos, but I saw one umbrella the whole show.
Jeez. One thing that also kind of bothered me, this is a really nitpick, is that they made number 7. They went from being 10 years old to 13.
Okay.
And that's kind of a big jump.
Who was number 7 again?
Number 7 was the kid.
The kid.
The kid throughout the entire show.
Oh, okay. I thought he was number 5.
Oh, is he number 5?
He's number 5.
He was number 5, I'm sorry.
Because number 7 is Vanya.
Yeah, it's Vanya, exactly.
Yeah.
But number 5, he was 10 years old in the comics and he's 13 in the show.
Okay.
And that's a big jump because puberty is the thing.
Okay.
And the kids, if you don't know what puberty is, please ask your parents.
Don't tell them that.
No, but number 5, what was so hilarious in the comics is you see just like a little short pudgy kid go around and just like stab people in the neck and everything.
Oh, nice.
And
I thought it was kind of cool him being 13 though.
It was, but I think 10 years old would have had more of that effect. But also, in reality, having a 10-year-old actor that's actually decent is really difficult.
See, but this is why I did not want to read the comics, because if I know stuff like that, it's going to ruin my experience watching them.
It doesn't ruin my experience.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I can enjoy things for their own measures, hence Titans.
Right.
But looking more, as I peel back the layers, there's some things that really frustrate and confuse me.
Right.
Like how they combine both books. They mixed, so book 1 is Apocalypse Suite, book 2 is Dallas. I'm going to spoil the basic premise of Dallas. I'm not going to spoil why it happens.
Okay.
But the basic premise is number 5. You see that he's working for that time travel agency, which they never mentioned the televator, which is a device used to time travel, and they never They just said, "Oh, where's my suitcase?"
I was cool with it being a suitcase.
And they never mentioned what it was.
What it was. Right.
And they never mentioned that those guys that went to come for the suitcase were from the future. Like those were big details they left out.
Right.
And
I mean, but I caught that though.
Yeah, but it's something that if you look down for a second, you miss a line, you look back up, it's kind of...
Yeah, but what it was I figured if number 5 had a suitcase and they had a suitcase, then they're both from the future.
Yeah, I mean...
It took a while for me to understand that.
And I'm actually going to get to Cha-Cha and Hazel in a second.
Okay, oh yeah.
Where was that? They also, when the suitcase wasn't a thing, you see that number 5 is working for the agency. They didn't really tell you why.
Right.
His motivation is from when he went to kill President John F. Kennedy for the assassination, which is why it's called Dallas, because it happened in Dallas. But in the book Dallas, they give you a very valid reason why he does it.
Well, I also heard in the book, John F. Kennedy never died. That's like the world that they live in, right?
No, in the book, the purpose of the agency isn't to alter history, but to keep it in its current progression.
But I thought
so in the book, if I recall correctly, because I was really tired when I reread it, they Lee Harvey Oswald missed John F. Kennedy, and number 5 was going to pull the trigger, but didn't. Someone else pulled the trigger, But the whole point of that agency was to keep history on its current course.
Gotcha.
And they didn't explain that in the show, and that's a very crucial part of the story.
Gotcha.
And when it comes to Cha-Cha and Hazel, I described last time when we were talking about the trailer how I felt about Cha-Cha and Hazel.
Cha-Cha and Hazel.
Because Cha-Cha and Hazel were supposed to be absolute nutcases, right? Like for example, when they're torturing what's his name? I can't believe I forgot the character's name. Druggy?
Oh, you talking about
that was number 3?
I think so.
Luther. No, it was Luther. Luther's number 1. I don't know. That was another issue with the comics, is the numbers got confusing. The guy with the guy who's able to talk to the dead. Nigel's going to do a fast Google for me.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Anyone in the chat's welcome to do it too. But when Cha-Cha and Hazel are torturing him in the comics, they're faceless people. They're just like...
They wear masks.
Their 2 agents never took off their mask. You would never know Mary J. Blige is Cha-Cha.
Mary J. Blige's Cha-Cha is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Mary J. Blige on a TV show in 2019 is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
No, it's not. That's not that bad. It's just that, like, I don't see her as an assassin that curses and wears extremely high heels.
No, but Cha-Cha, I like what they were going for, Cha-Cha and Hazel. But when I was keeping track, because I was reading about the production. Claws, thank you. when I was keeping tabs actually on another show called Spoiler, where you do nothing but spoil stuff.
We didn't spoil it yet.
Keeping track of the production schedule, Gerard Way was very laissez-faire with the production of Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
Okay.
He basically gave them the rights to use, or he lent it to them. They said they wanted to do it. Yeah, the guy, I think his name is Steve Blackwell, who was the screenwriter for it. He converted to the screenplay, which is why it was so disjointed like that. And then they basically, Gerard they phoned him in every now and then he voiced his concerns, and they listened to him, and they answered it, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So that's why this show took the turn the way it did, in my opinion. Because Gerard, before My Chemical Romance, he worked at DC.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So he was actually an intern at DC for about 6 years. And he wrote some pretty big villains that like were later adapted into like big comic series.
Did he write Black Manta? No, I'm being silly.
No,
I'm being silly.
No, but he had a lot of experience, and that's why I was really looking forward to reading his comics, is because he was a comic book writer and creator before he was ever on
That's
in My Chemical
interesting
Romance.
turn.
Yeah, and then he joined My Chemical Romance because he was one whole angsty boy.
Okay.
And he became the face of emo culture as we know it.
Yeah.
And then he wrote, and then he went back full circle. He wrote Umbrella Academy. He wrote his last album called Danger Days: The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, which then ties into the comic series Killjoys.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is really good.
Okay.
6 comic series, awesome.
Right.
But Gerard Way, I had faith in his stuff because he was a comic writer first.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that wrote comics who were musicians.
Okay.
Like I believe Dave Mustaine did one. I believe what's his name? Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine wrote one. You have Corey Taylor from Slipknot wrote one.
Oh, wow.
For House of Golden Bones. Claudio Sanchez from Coheed and Cambria.
Okay.
Casey Crescenzo from The Deer Hunter. List goes on. There's a very strong connection between comics and there's a very strong connection between comics and music like that, and like rock, progressive rock.
Well,
metal.
you know, Archie and the Jugheads, they had a comic.
I remember Archie had a comic series that came out in like 2013 that was apparently pretty decent.
Oh, he did? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I haven't read an Archie comic in like never.
Yeah, but I liked Umbrella Academy. What were your thoughts? Because I spoke a lot and you didn't read the comics.
I didn't read the comics. I loved Umbrella Academy.
Really?
Yes. I won't say love. I really liked it because now I'm on Doom Patrol, so I'm on Doom Patrol. But
You can't cheat on the show.
yeah, I like Umbrella Academy. I like the fact that they were all broken people.
Yeah.
I like when you have like impure like stars, or like, you know, just like the people with flaws. I really
That's
like.
the most compelling part of Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
Is their internal conflicts.
I like the fact that
Like
they're all flawed.
Yeah,
I
like
really
the dad
do.
sends his kid to the moon,
Right.
when his kid's the only one left who didn't run away or leave him or anything.
I like the fact that, like, you know, all of these people have powers, obviously, except for one, which you find out in the trailer. It's not a spoiler.
I'm not going to touch that.
Yeah, we're not going to talk
But
about.
I remember when I was watching that character on screen, I was getting very annoyed. I was like, Nigel,
He kept texting.
Nigel, what is this?
He's like, what is going on? I'm like, yo, it's just the thing, man. Just let
Nigel,
it happen.
this is heresy. I want my money back.
Just let it happen, man. You know, what are you gonna do? You gonna stop him? You gonna call up Netflix while it's happening? You know, but
Hey, this is wrong. Bad.
I liked it. Like, I sat there and I binged it. I was excited about it. You know, I really thought that.
Oh man, we got some transmissions from the bottom of the ocean.
I really thought that it was a good show. And, you know, I don't know if this is a spoiler also, but there's a good little cameo in there.
Which one?
Kate Walsh.
Oh, that's right, Kate Walsh.
Yeah.
Well, she wasn't really spoiled. She's a pretty main character in the comics.
I didn't know she was in it until she posted that day, like, hey guys, surprise, I'm in this.
Jeez. No,
Shout out to Kate Walsh.
my thing with Umbrella Academy, what I did like about it is that all my concerns that I had with the show were just their alternate takes to get to the plot point that exists in the comics.
Gotcha.
So that's where I was kind of like mixed with it.
Yeah, I do have some reservations, which I can't talk about because it'll spoil it.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's some things that I wish they would have tied up, or like I wish, like, you know, a lot of these people with powers don't really know the full extent of their powers, and I really wish, like, toward the end of the season they would have found it.
Yeah, I think I don't know.
Well, I'll put you like this. Claws.
Yeah.
I don't know what his power really is, or how his power can benefit everyone else.
He has the power to talk to the dead, and I believe also has the power to levitate.
Okay.
Which is actually what I was going to mention was that with Cha-Cha and Hazel, when they were torturing him, what he said, which I thought was brilliant, is just like, ugh, you're torturing me in these clothes? He's like, can you at least take off my shoes? I wouldn't be caught dead in these things. Because his feet, like when he touches the ground is when he can get grounded and uses like powers. So they didn't really touch upon that much. All they really spoke about was that he spoke to the dead. They didn't speak about his other stuff.
And that's what I really want. Like I really wanted like his powers to grow because, you know, a lot of them are still learning their powers, even though they're what, late 20s, early 30s.
Well, season 2 is going to probably be that action season.
Right.
One thing that I did wish I got to see aside from the Eiffel Tower scene.
Maybe they will show the Eiffel Tower scene next season.
That's not going to happen. They don't have the budget. Do you think
they do have the budget?
The budget to make a mechanical Eiffel Tower?
Netflix has the money for everything.
It's not a matter of Netflix has the budget. It's a matter if they're going to allocate the budget to the people working on the show.
They might. I mean, think about it. The Irishman. Like, did you hear about how much money they spent on The Irishman to do?
No.
It's like over like 100. Like what was it? It was over like it's close to $1 billion that they did that movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll look it up because I really want like the actual figure. But Netflix has been shelling out money like ridiculous because they know that the more programming they have, the more subscriptions they have.
Yeah.
So and The Irishman is the movie with who is it? Scorsese did. So yeah. Well, it says right here, go ahead.
To finish off Umbrella Academy, I just want to say that the only scene I wish they did have was the developing story arc of number 5 when he went to the future, and talking about how he how he was stuck in the future, the algorithms that he wrote to get back in time, and his like inner conflicts like coming out into fruition, him having to deal with it, and showing why he has that mental superiority when he comes back in time because he is mentally like 60.
Right.
But he's in a 13-year-old's body. Or in the show 10-year-old in the comic.
Right.
So I wish I got to see that. That would have been a good character development point. But yeah, that's pretty cool. One more thing since we have a little bit of time. I wanted to mention Wayne. I don't know if you saw it.
I did not see Wayne, no.
Wayne was a nuts show.
Okay.
It was such a refreshing TV show to watch.
And this is on YouTube
Red.
Okay, YouTube
Right
Red.
before I canceled my membership.
Okay.
But when I actually had YouTube Red because I had Google Play Music and I wasn't using that or YouTube Red at all.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, what's that for me?
Yeah.
But Wayne is about this kid, Wayne. And his mother left him, and she stole the keys to the car that his father was going to give him because his father, while he wasn't a great man, he wanted to at least leave his son something out of his poverty. His father passes away due to cancer. So what Wayne does is, because Wayne's like the feared guy in his school. He's like he's 16 or 15, I think.
Okay.
He's viewed as a bully, and he doesn't bully people to better himself, but he rather attacks people that are like bullies and attack others.
Oh wow.
So he's kind of like the Robin Hood of bullies. But he's a man in tights.
He bullies the other bullies.
His bullying, though, is pretty graphic and is first-degree murder in some cases.
Oh, wow.
But it's a really graphic show, but it's really refreshing in that respect. And as I'm sitting there, and I'm sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. As I'm sitting there and I'm watching the show, trying to get a feel what's going on, you see that he meets this girl Dell, who's trying to sell him Girl Scout cookies. When him and Dell meet, they have this weird relationship. They decide to be a thing and then go on a road trip down from Massachusetts to Florida.
Okay.
And they all have like really thick New Jersey accents, which really bothered me. And the girl who plays Dell, she looks 16 because the character is 16.
Right.
She's 21. That's weird. But yeah, so they go down to Florida, and the whole show is about their down, like going and experiencing other things, and the whole Wayne Dell dynamic. The show. But I just found it like a really entertaining, refreshing kind of show. It was definitely worth watching, and something that if you're like me, you get home from work or something, you just have a few minutes to watch an episode of a show, throw that on.
Oh, and that's on YouTube Red, everybody.
Yeah. I just wanted the way I wanted to end the show off is I just wanted to quickly go over what we're watching now, just on our own.
Okay.
So what are you watching?
I'm watching Anya Marina, Independent Woman on YouTube.
Watch now. Not YouTube Red. It's fantastic. I really got to give you props.
Thank you.
Nigel, his analogy for foosball is amazing. His likeliness comparing foosball to dealing drugs and getting busted, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
And Anya,
because
what's her last name?
I do not know how to play foosball.
I don't know how to play any sports.
Yeah, Anya Marina.
Anya Marina.
Yeah.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, she is.
Both of you have a really good dynamic and that really dry sense of humor, which I loved.
There is so much that was left on the cutting room floor that like I wish, like we had to reshoot a lot of stuff. So it was just like, you know, we were going to like Six Flags like at one episode, and we were going to
sneak peek.
Oh, sorry. We were going to we went through like this fair on it was like some kind of one of those food things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just like this. Everything was out there and out in the open, and I'm walking around in this yellow coat, and people are just talking to me and like getting hugs from me and stuff like that. Like it was great. It was great experience. And Kate Walsh.
Yeah, she was great.
She's always great though.
She's not a doctor, but she plays one. That show, it's really fun to watch. I always look forward. That's like one way to perk up my Monday mornings.
Right.
Yeah, I try to wake up and I try to throw on that episode and watch it. I recommend you guys do the same. It's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
All the episodes together right now is a collective like what, 20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
So
if you can watch it, but besides that, I've watched. I'm really a big fan of the Teddy Pendergrass documentary on Showtime. The Sam Cooke documentary on Netflix is really good. Mm-hmm. If you do not know who Sam Cooke was, he was a trendsetter. There was a lot of stuff about Sam Cooke that I did not know, and I didn't know that like about the way he died or how he died or what was going on. I just knew the music, and it was interesting to me to watch that. But besides those things, that's about it, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I watched Wayne. I'm watching the show called The Norseman.
Okay.
Because I did that vocal cover of the song Blood Eagle by Periphery. And I was doing research from what the Blood Eagle is, and that's brutal.
Oh wow.
That's like I don't
know what a Blood Eagle is.
I didn't get to do it on Tail, so I'm just going to discuss it very quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to be as least graphic as possible.
Yeah, please.
It was an execution technique used by the Norse. It was an execution technique used by the Norse where basically the ribcage was open to look like an eagle. I'm not going to say the process then going to it, but the ribcage was open from the spine to look like an eagle. And if they screamed or made like noise out of pain, they wouldn't get into Valhalla. Okay. And if they were silent, they would get into Valhalla. But after watching that, I like rekindled my interest in Norse mythology.
What is Thor?
Norse.
When does he come out?
Son of Odin. No, so I've been really interested in Norse mythology. So I was watching the show called The Norseman, which is a Scandinavian sitcom.
Oh wow.
About a Norse tribe with it's just an absolutely nuts thing. It's like a very dry humored style Norse comedy. It's just very unique. It's really hard to say, but that's been really good. I watched this show. What's it called? Barry.
Yeah, on HBO.
Yeah, Barry. What's his name? What's the protagonist?
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader. Yeah. Bill Hader plays a.
I don't even watch it, and I know.
You mentioned it was on HBO. Bill Hader plays an ex-hitman who's has a falling interest for theater, and his life as a hitman and his interest as being someone in theater are like constantly conflicting with each other.
Yeah, which reminds me of the movie Grosse Pointe Blank with John Cusack.
Have not seen it.
Oh, he is. Do you remember that, Mark? No, Grosse Pointe Blank, but. Grosse Pointe Blank was he basically was a hitman who was going to his high school reunion, and he was falling in love with some girl. Yeah. So it was like it's kind of like the same concept as Barry, but I think Barry's probably funnier.
Barry, it starts off the first episode. I'm like, where's this going? And one thing that pisses me off is HBO when they letterbox their shows, they use gray bars instead of black. Yeah. It's so frustrating. I have to go into the code every episode and change that. Because I use an OLED, so I can see the bars. Right. But So I was watching that. First episode was kind of like not going anywhere. Second or third episode is where it starts to take off and you see what they're trying to do, because it was an award-winning show.
Right.
So that was pretty good. I saw What Happened on Monday. The concept of the movie is that it's a dystopian future, and you're not allowed to have more than 1 children. Okay. This guy has 7. So and they're identical, like twins.
This was the Netflix movie, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I've heard of this movie.
So what he does is he names each child the day of the week, and the child can only head out that respective day of the week. However, every child must look identical. So if a child gets like an injury, like for example, a child lost a piece of his finger, every child had to lose that piece of their finger. And the show was a very political show. It was like talking about a lot about political statements, both on like the left and right sides. It's just that the movie wasn't really that enthralling to me. Okay. When I'm sitting through it, I don't know, didn't do too much.
I've heard people talk about that movie, and some people say it's good, some people say it's
average.
So take it or leave it.
It's average. It's a movie that the concept is really cool, and my friend actually recommended it to me because I was telling him about the concept of Umbrella Academy with the numbers and characters. Right. So I don't know. If that show sounds like it piques your interest, watch it. It might not do much for you, didn't do much for me. In fact, me and my friend got to make fun of it for an entire hour and a half, 2 hours. So, yeah, I mean, that's everything I'm up to date with.
All right.
A lot of stuff going on in the world, a lot of shows, things, it's crazy to keep up. Yeah. So, but yeah, any final words?
Final words, make sure...
You're playing. You're doing a show soon.
Yes, I have a show
on Friday.
Yeah, March 8th. Yeah. Actually, yes. March 8th, I have a show at the Governor's Comedy Club in the Little Room. I'll be there. I believe it starts at 8 p.m. Please get your tickets at govs.com. Also, I have a friend that is.
And we'll do a little meet and greet if you want to meet your favorite hosts of the Jump Cut.
You want to meet me? I don't know.
We'll do a meet and greet for all 5 of you.
Also, if you guys are watching, my friend, his name is John Fudge Rickenbacker. He is on HBO's Crashing. He has a recurring character that's happening. So please tune into that. Please support him. Support us. Support everything that you see me in or whatever. Support Tales.
Tales from the bottom of the ocean. Come here, Austin. Come here. Come here. Sit on Steven's lap.
Oh my God! What is happening?
Support Tales from the bottom of the ocean.
Oh my God! This is like a Make-A-Wish found. This looks like different strokes.
Support Tales from the bottom of the ocean. Oh God! All right. Well, I'm Steve.
I'm Nigel.
That's Mike. And we're going down.
All right. Thanks again for watching.
Thanks for tuning in. Jesus Christ! It's foggy.
Oh my God!
What do you think?